Hi everyone and welcome to my flight attendant series, and this is another episode, and actually the last one was how to apply as a flight attendant for a flight attendant job and the application process. So this one is gonna be everything about what happens if you are successful with your application and what actually expects you then. So as I already said, if you have been successful with your application, you are going to have a medical at your airline. So if you haven't watched my the other video, I will just kind of like talk about it again, what happens in the medical. You will actually, I think they take your urine, I think they do take your blood. You have to bring your vaccinations pass, so they see what vaccinations you already have, or if you do have to freshen up on some. Also, you will be vaccinated against yellow fever, at least with my airline. And normal people do not get a vaccination for yellow fever because they do not travel to countries that where actually the yellow fever is spread. So, well, you will get that one, and you also get a hearing test, a sight test. You will do a lung volume test where you have to breathe into a tube. And you also will have a total body examination from a doctor who will like check out your spine and like things like that, and your pre-medical like your medical history with you. And after that has been successful, and if he thinks there is nothing wrong with your body that speaks against you being a flight attendant, you will get an invitation to your flight attendant training. And what's expecting you in your flight attendant training? Because I know that in some countries there are flight attendant schools. I think there are none in the US and there are none in Europe, and it's not necessary. I know that in Asia it mostly is required, and I also know that in Brazil they have flight attendant schools. I don't really know whether it's necessary. If your country offers one, I think even in the US you can actually take like flight attendant, like kind of like classes at the college, if I'm not mistaken. I think the college, my local college, offers it. But I don't know if it's because my flight attendant training was almost 3 months, and I think they're like, you get a lot to know, but the most important parts that you will need, you're not gonna learn in a classroom. You're gonna learn them while flying. You're gonna learn them from your colleagues, and you also learn them from experience. But yeah. Anyways, so if your country offers a flight attendant school, and if you are actually required to take it, then well, there's no way around it. But I'm not so sure if it's really necessary to spend a lot of money for a flight attendant school if you don't even know if an airline is going to hire you afterwards. Because you can learn as much in a flight attendant school, but if you don't have the personal skills to be a flight attendant, no airline is going to hire you. Being a flight attendant has a lot more to do with your personality than other people think. Because, I mean, an office job, I think everyone who has the requirements can do it. But a flight attendant job, you have to have the requirements, but also you have to have a certain personality. And some people just, like, everyone is different. Some people, they don't have it. And, I mean, that's not a bad thing. You're just not made for the job, I think. So, well, anyways, that's off topic here. But what expects you in the flight attendant training? Back to basic. Well, you will do a lot of emergency. You will do a lot of evacuations. You will do the commands. You will do all the different like ringing sounds that come in cases of emergency. You will have to recognize everything. You will learn how to operate the phones, the interphones that call like from the different flight attendant stations to the cockpit, or from flight attendant station to flight attendant station. And you will do firefighting. Actually, you will do that with we did that with real fire, and we actually did really fight a real fire. You will also do fake firefighting on an airplane mock-up, which is like a false airplane. It looks like an airplane from the inside, but it's actually not an airplane. But it makes the same sounds and noises, and it has the same interior, and that comes out like fumes and stuff like that. So you will train on that one. Then you do a lot of first aid. Sorry, I dropped my pen. You will do first aid. You will learn actually how to, well, not how to give birth, but how to help a mom who gives birth. Which actually I think is, I don't know, it's weird. But yeah, you will learn that, because actually that can happen. You will learn everything about first response for adults and also for kids, because there's a little difference. And you will learn, well, a lot of things about maybe like a survival training. Well, not a survival training, but you will learn a lot of survival, how to survive like on water, how to get fresh water when you actually on the boats, like on the little like when you had to evacuate on the water and you are actually on the little boats, how to get fresh water, how to treat sick people, things like that. Like you will learn how to make fresh water out of a fish, which is rather gross, but still, if it helps to survive, no problem. You actually do squeeze the fish like a sponge, and the water that comes out, it tastes really fishy, and it is really fishy, but it's really well, it's really hydrating because it has also a lot of salts in it, but not like the sea water. Because if you drink like ocean water, you're probably sooner or later gonna die, because you're gonna dehydrate, because it's too salty. It takes out all the fluids of your cells. You're gonna dehydrate, and you are not surviving. Anyways, you do a lot of that. You do surviving in the desert and in snow and on water. You will learn how to operate a pistol to send signals. You will operate how to you will learn how to operate with mirrors to send signals. You learn actually a lot of things, and you also do a ditching procedure. You will go to, what ditching is when an airplane lands on water, makes an emergency landing on water. You will learn, therefore you will go to a public swimming pool, and you will actually have the boats in there. You will wear clothes, so you know how it feels when you're in with clothes underwater, because it's actually a lot different, because it's a lot heavier and pulls you down. And then you will learn how to operate the life vest. You will actually really pull them until they inflate. You will work with them in water, and yeah, that is what's going to happen at the ditching. You will also learn how to rescue other people, like how to grab them and drag them into the boat. And then you actually its main parts, I think, is emergency, but also big part is intercultural communication. So how do you handle different cultures, and that's actually really interesting. All the, like, you're gonna handle, like, you're gonna go over a lot of prejudices from other cultures, like, you know, like, what do you think, like, that, like, you know, like, American people are very chatty, they, like, love the small talk. German people are a little rude, like, Japanese people, they are very, like, shy and holding back, things like that. You will go over it, you will learn a little more about the cultures. Really interesting, and I think really useful for the for your actual time on board. And then also really important, but actually only a small part, because you cannot train that, I think, on the ground, is the service. You will actually do a few services from different positions, and yeah, that's actually, but you don't do it that often, because I think you can learn it more on the plane. And then you will have, we had 3 flights that, where we were like, kind of like, you know, additionals. Well, we did have to work, where we had 1 additional flight attendant, on board who was kind of like our instructor and was kind of looking over us and helping us, and that was actually really, like, I think I learned more from those 3 flights than from a lot of days in the class. Because, I mean, as I said, like, some things, like the service on the ground, I mean, yeah, everyone can pour a water, but pouring a water in 30,000 feet when everything is shaky is a whole different story. So I think you learn that on your real plane. And yeah, that was actually it, I think, from the training. Well, you do a lot, like, you also watch like videos, what can happen. You watch crash videos, horrific things you do watch. You watch what happens when you're tired, when you're not attentive, things like that. So like horror scenarios, but like, knock on wood, it's never gonna happen. So yeah, that was it, I think, for this episode. So if you do have any further questions, please leave the comments down below, as always. And if you are watching this video for the first time, or this is the first video you watch that is made by me, please don't forget to subscribe, because I do really appreciate every subscriber and everyone who leaves a comment, because it makes me really happy, because I think that I'm not doing that just for my personal entertainment, the videos, but actually that they are helpful to someone out there. So I will be more than happy if you give it a thumbs up and if you comment down below. And if I just won you as many subscribers, thank you. And yeah, I see you in my next video, and I say bye bye, see you guys, and many happy landings.